This morning, all morning, well, every single day, every second of the day, there are terrorists screaming in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists, screaming, "We want your kids to die." I mean, go fuck yourself, go die. I mean, to the point that I'm like bawling my eyes out. And it's not just that. They're making my hair fall out. They're making me dizzy. They're making me go cross-eyed. They're saying, haha, you don't have any more sex appeal, you stupid bitch. We want you to fucking die, you and your fucking kids, you fucking whore. They're saying, haha, we murdered your friends and we got away with it. We murdered your dad and we got away with it. They're saying, I mean, things that would make anybody bawl their eyes out. And then while you're crying, they try to make you mad so you look like the volatile, violent one when it's really them. They're screaming in my head. I legit wouldn't feel confident or comfortable saying I believe they're real people, because if in fact there was no way of tracking these bitches, but there's Google Maps. The cops have they have the most sophisticated of technologies. They have the forensics team. They have all, it's just, I don't have any tangible evidence to provide where there's enough probable cause to warrant a search on these terrorists. So it's happening in my head. They're using a weapon of mass destruction. The best thing that I can do is the most that I can do is to say, this is what's going on in my life. I hear terrorists talking in my head. They've said they're Egyptian American Muslim, which I believe they speak fluent Arabic, Egyptian Arabic, just like, sorry, they're playing with my head, the dialect is either from Alexandria or Cairo. It's just like Coptic Orthodox Christian Arabic. It's not, there's so many dialects in Egypt, so it's particular. This is exactly the same as the dialect I speak. They sound like they were born and raised in Southern California, however, and it's just constant fuck you, we're Muslim, we're this, we're terrorists, ha ha ha. Of course, the emphasis from their end about them being Muslim is part of their agenda to steer me away or scare Muslims away from me, or scare me away or scare me from wanting to be around them. It's not about, these are terrorists. They're just, this is what they identify as, and I believe that 100%. Now, aside from that, and like I said, they can be tracked. So I wouldn't feel confidence or comfortable saying this if there was no legitimate way of tracking them. They're in a house. They sound like they're all over the age of 30. It's not just women, but the women in particular are the ones cheerleading the men on. And they're trafficking people, and they are responsible for the murders of. These bitches are serial killers. They're talking in my head. It's just, I can't jump out of my skin, okay? They are responsible for the murder of Bernadette Oloskov, David Basili, Daniel Atkins, the girl that was with him, CJ Thomas, Jerry Morrow, Dr. George Jacob, my dad, David Basili, and Sarah Sad, Mark and Jacob Iskander, Nasra, Kobe Bryant. These are big figures that you're like, what in the hell? You're like, that's so weird. How did they just die like that? Whitney Houston and her daughter. Who else? They're responsible for the murder of Florence Joyner Jr., who was a Olympic winner, and just suddenly had a heart attack, lived in my community, and I had met her nephew maybe a month or two before she passed away, but she was fine, and she was in great shape. She was running like she always does. I mean, we're talking about an Olympic athlete here, like top-notch, like diet, top-notch, exercise regimes, top-notch everything. We're not talking about your average Joe just going to the gym. And then Aaliyah, who, of course, also mysteriously her plane crashed just like Kobe Bryant's. Just, come on, they're terrorists behind this. They're Egyptian American Muslim women and men. Obviously men, but the women are the ones egging them on. They're spending their money that they're laundering using this telepathy technology. It can control you. It can retard you down to a vegetable and turn you into their human robot. I promise to God. Anyways, all morning, torturing me, making me cry, trying to get me to be belligerent because they're constantly saying, haha, we're going to fucking murder you and your kids, you fucking bitch. So, naturally, you want to say, I want to fucking put you in, I want you sentenced to death, I want you to fucking die, right? But I have neighbors, and it's like, I'm not a violent person, so I don't want people to get the wrong impression. This is what's happening in my head, though. This is legit what's happening in my head. This is what they're saying. I don't feel this way. I just want them sentenced to death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want them in caskets. I feel like they're solely responsible for the men's behavior. Because if the men are, quote unquote, now they're like losing their marbles because the women are facing the death penalty, then who's really to blame here if the men are sensitive enough to feel that way? Then they wouldn't have done it to start with if the women had not agreed. So you wonder who's steering the ship here. I just want to make it very clear that they're talking in my head, that they're constantly trying to make me feel stupid for saying that, but the reason why I think they do is because there are records involved, and they're trying to say that what I'm hearing is coming from outside, and it could be my neighbors, it could be someone walking outside. No, it's not. They're talking in my head, and I'll record for hours and hours to make it clear that there's nothing going on in my background, and I'll post it to YouTube, just in case, for safety measures. So I just want to put it out there. I want those bitches sentenced to death. They're talking in my head. They're pulling on my muscles in my face. They're just... Anyways, I'm at 8 minutes. I gotta go so I can post this to Facebook. Have a great day. Bye. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my fucking head, laughing about how they murdered my best friend Bernadette. They're talking in my head, and they're murdering me, and they're laughing at how they murdered her, and they're laughing in my head while they're murdering me. I want those bitches to fucking die. You fucking hear me? They live in California. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want those bitches to fucking die. You fucking hear me?